Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my Game of Thrones Legends mobile game content. So I'll try to struggle through this video today because I want to bring you the news about the new raid system that went live. I'm feeling like crap, so you'll please have to excuse me if my voice sounds a little messed up. I'm having trouble breathing right now, I'm not gonna lie. Allergies in my area have wrecked me the last couple days, oh my god. Anyway, enough of that. So if you remember right, we did a video a couple days ago about the changes coming to the raid system, and they did say that it was going to go live today on the 28th, and after the raid season reset excuse me, it did go live today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new setup and see what we think. Right now you can see in the raid screen, you can see your account up top and you can see how many trophies you have right here without having to go back and forth and look, and so that's a nice little enhancement. I like that. Now the way it works now is you're presented with three options right off the bat, and you can look at the power, you can look at the name, you can look at what house they're in, and you can see how many trophies they also have. You can see the rate of return for what you would gain if you win and what you would lose if you lose, and then you can look at their team. Now this is displayed for 3 people per refresh attempt, and if you remember right, the refresh attempt before was 1 target for 150 food. They did say that the refresh ratio of increase would be anywhere from, I think they put it as 100 to 10,000 or something like that, and I wasn't really sure how this was going to work when it first started out, but a lot of people in my house was showing their screen and they had 3 free refreshes at the start, and then it jumped to 1,000, and I'm not really sure what it went to after that, and I'm not really sure why mine didn't start with some free refreshes, but mine, this is the first time I've looked at it since the new season started, and mine's already at 1,000, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if there's some kind of bug or if it just didn't take into account the refreshes that, or if it is taking into account the refreshes you did right before the season reset or something. I don't know. But if I remember correctly in that announcement, they said that this total would reset once every day, and then you would come back at the next day after it reset and you'd have your free refreshes again, and then you could start on throughout the refresh cycle again. You have 3 choices to choose from, and let's look and see if we still have the same ability like we did before. Before we could actually look at the person and see their team if we long pressed on the character itself. I am clicking them and I cannot see their gear. I am playing this on computer though, so it may be different if you're, oh, there we go. Okay, so you got to actually hold on their portrait and you can still get to the actual screen of their individual characters so that you can see their skills and their gear level, and you can see the level of those individual pieces of gear, so you can kind of get a really good idea of who you're messing with. So like this guy right here, Centurion, he was one of my 3 choices. I can now go in and look at each one of his people and decide if he's somebody I want to mess with or not, based on the level of his gear and stuff. Now, I'm not really understanding what's going on with this guy, but you can see that the season just started like 2 hours ago. There is no way that somebody should already have almost 3,800 trophies. So I'm going to assume this is some kind of visual glitch or something, because there is no way that somebody should be at that many trophies already. It's just not possible, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna say it. So let's see what happens happens if we actually do pick a target and attack them. Let's see if the refresh amount changes or if it stays the same. I'm going to assume that it's probably going to stay the same. This is the guy I'm going to attack. He's going to give me 100 trophies if I win, based on the, you know, the comparison between mine and his. He obviously has more than me, so, you know, I'm fighting somebody that technically, by the way the system works, has more experience in the raid season than I do at this point. So it's looking at that and it's saying, you know, if you beat this guy, you'll get this amount of trophies. So I'm going to go ahead and attack this guy and see what happens. Let's see here. Yep. So it's going to be a green team pretty much against my green team pretty much, with a Ned anchor on each one. So we'll see how this goes. Make sure I don't have auto battle turned on. Nope, I'm good there. Okay. So let's go ahead and do my normal raids pattern. When I face green teams, I'll usually go ahead and try to take Amond out first because he's usually the hardest hitter. And if I can go ahead and knock him out, that usually goes well, or the best it can for me. Probably should have used Aegon on that one. Then I'll usually try to take out the birthright generator. And then if they have auto on their team, I'll usually try to take auto out so we can't get that defense down debuff anymore. But right now, I'll just go ahead and just attack whoever. Get some defense down on them. Ah, I should have hit Alicent first. I didn't see her pop up until I had already clicked on him. Let's see. Let's try to match up a little bit before we use Alicent. All right. So Ned's the target now. He's set himself as the target. Let's get some stuff going. And then let's go ahead and get this guy's team finished off. All right, come on now. So I'm interested to see what happens with the refresh timer after we beat our first opponent. Does it automatically give you 3 more to choose from? And then does the refresh timer go up? And I won and I went down. Imagine that. I always hate to see that because that's frustrating to see. But at the start of the season, that usually happens because everybody is moving so fast with 100-point trophy rewards that sometimes that happens. And again, I apologize about my voice today. I'm really struggling. Let's see. Okay, so we got 3 new trophies. It looks like these 2 stayed the same though, and I just got a new one for the one that I actually attacked. That's interesting. So it doesn't automatically reset the option of the 3, it just resets the one that you actually attacked. So if you end up having, so let's say this guy was 800,000 and I couldn't attack him because he's just way too strong, I would have the choice of realistically these 2 and that would be pretty much it. But if I had targets that were too strong and I couldn't attack any of the 3, then I would have to refresh. And I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and do a refresh just to see what happens, because why not? I could attack this guy and be just fine, but I want to go ahead and hit refresh just so I can see what the mechanic does. And wow, it went from 1,000 food to 10,000 in one refresh. Okay, I don't know what to say about that, but I do not like that. I do not like that at all, because what that's going to do is that's going to cause me to not get to play as much as normal, and I don't like that because I don't have that much food to be throwing 10,000 refresh every single time just because the targets aren't to my liking. So yeah, I'm not happy about that right there. You saw I was on 1,000 and I clicked it one time at the beginning of the season, and now I'm already at 10,000. They're going to have to tweak that because that is not cool. Okay, I'm just saying it because I'm not getting hardly anything from who I'm attacking. So yeah, I'm just they're definitely going to have to work on that. They're going to have to tweak that a little bit because that's not fair. What that's going to do is that's going to cause people to play raids less or use the search function never. And people will just be attacking on their leaderboard. But what we did learn from the announcement the other day is that the attacks that you're going to get on your leaderboard are going to be once per season. So that means for 7 days, basically, I'm only going to be able to attack the people on my board one time. And that's going to be it. So yeah, and if you get unlucky enough to get matched with your own people, like this gal right here, she is part of my alliance, the Three-Eyed Ravens. Well, that's obviously one that I don't get now because I'm not going to attack my own housemate. So yeah, this happens to be another one of my friends right here, so I'm not going to attack him. So now I'm already 2 in the hole. Oh goodness. Wow. Yeah, so the changes to raids are what they are right now. I definitely think there's room for improvement. I think that there is some room for tweaking this for sure. I don't think players are going to be happy with the cost to refresh, because we've gotten used to being able to play raids. We've gotten used to be able to attack opponents and actually get some resources from our battles that we do every day. And this is just, in my opinion, this is too limiting. So, thanks for watching my content. Thanks for getting into this with me and taking a look at the new raid system. I hope that, you enjoyed it, but I don't know what you're going to think about this. Let me know in the comments section if you like this. Let me know why. If you don't like this, let me know why. I would love to hear what you have to say so that we can have a discussion on it. Me personally, I'm not liking it, and I hope that they ease up on this a little bit, because it's ridiculous when I do one refresh and I go from 1,000 to 10,000. That's just not cool. All right. Thank you for watching my content today. I appreciate it. Talk to you again in another video about Game of Thrones Legends. Coming soon. Peace.